This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
We're doing everything we can to avoid problems for all of our citizens.
Sure, although it's been a banner year for precipitation, the water could also be too much of a good thing for folks in Fallon. And that's why the Truckee-Carson Irrigation District is executing its flood mitigation plan. How it'll look in our Channel 2 News Big Story at 5 o'clock. Pretty aggressive efforts.
Yeah, for sure.
Lake Lahontan is almost full. And get this, the forecast for snowmelt is almost enough to fill the reservoir twice.
Wow.
By summertime.
That's
Two
nuts.
more times.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Remington.
And I'm Landon Miller. Thank you for joining us tonight. So the TCID is working to prevent flooding in Fallon when that spring runoff happens. So this is what they're doing. They're building a diversion that will funnel some of the water from Lake Lahontan onto some vacant BLM land, bypassing Fallon as it makes its way to Carson Lake and eventually the Carson Sink. Paul Nelson shows us how the plan is being put into action.
Construction is underway on a flood mitigation plan just west of Fallon. Crews are building a spillway along the V-Line Canal, all in preparation of the spring runoff.
We're preparing for that which is to come, and we have the benefit of being able to do so much ahead of that. That puts us way ahead of the game.
There's been so much precipitation this year that this canal actually started flowing about a month and a half ahead of schedule. Once this project is completed, the water will go over this spillway and off into the desert. The whole reason is to prevent flooding in Fallon.
We're going to see water virtually covering this side of the valley.
That should come as a relief to Fallon residents who know a lot more water will head their way come spring. That's why Jardine says the estimated $600,000 project is well worth the price.
At any cost, it's something that's so important in preserving the integrity, the safety, and I think the peace of mind associated with the residents of the Fallon area.
Lake Lahontan has risen more than a foot in the last week and sits just a few feet from the top. Water is being released to keep it from flowing over these flashboards.
Once the water gets so high that it starts to go over that, that's where we can no longer exercise any control over that.
The dam was built for irrigation, not flood control, but that's exactly how it's being used this year, and draining the water as it fills can be a balancing act.
Our effort will be, in a perfect world, to draw this water out, allow for Lahontan to come up and manage that, so at the end of the day we're right there.
For several weeks, nearly half of the water released from Lahontan will flow through the spillway. Construction's expected to be completed by March 10th. Covering the big story in Fallon, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.
Jardine says the Lahontan Dam is in great shape, so there's no concern for structural failure. Irrigation season usually starts in mid to late March, and there's so much water this year that farmers might get their first order for free.
Wow, that's great.